Everybody, thanks for coming down to watch another video review. Today we're going to be looking at the new Transformers The Last Knight Deluxe Class Autobot Drift. So here he is. Now before we take a look at the figure, we'll take a quick look at the packaging. So here it is. You can see he's from The Last Knight. Side, he is an Autobot. Top here, you have your product shot. He transforms in 10 steps. His name is Drift, and also in his wave are Steelbane and Autobot Squeaks. On this side, you can see he's a Master Swordsman, and that pretty much does it for the packaging. So here's Drift, the real deal, and he's down here. And you can see that he becomes a expensive sports car. He went from a Bugatti to a Mercedes, and this is actually a very nice change. I actually like it. He looks very good in this mode, and one thing that's kind of cool is that he kind of has a metal flake finish to him, which is very nice. Also, on the top you've got an Autobot symbol, and for the headlights you've got a bluish white. Now at the front you've got your Mercedes logo and the grille picked out in silver paint. At the bottom you can basically see what's going on. He's got a visible head, and yeah, you can basically see everything. For the weapon storage is two swords. They just peg into the bottom of his feet right there. So we're just going to put that right there. He rolls very nicely. Even when he has his swords on, he rolls very nice. Now at the front you can see that you can kind of see the swords, so if you don't really like them there, that's okay. Now for his vehicle mode, sometimes the panels can kind of be popping up all over the place, because he's kind of tricky to transform. Now, you can see here that this is kind of higher than this over here. This kind of part is higher than this part. That's because of transformation. Now, the spoiler at the back is nice. Nice mixture between red and black. There's not too much red on him, but it'll really show in the robot mode, which is nice. I actually like that kind of design. The red stripe should go all the way around, but it stops. And in terms of paint, he's got a lot at the front, not too much at the back, and yeah, that pretty much does it for that. Now, for a size comparison, here he is with his buddy Crosshairs from the Transformers Age of Extinction line, and you can just see right here how they look together. And next up, here he is with Bumblebee, another one of his buddies. And you can see how they scale together. And here he is with Decepticon Berserker. And that's how they look together. So, now let's get down to the transformation. So, the first thing that you want to do once you transform him is head around to the back and just flip this part open like that. Go to the side, take these panels, move them up against the arms, like this, and then take the entire hood section and move that up. This section and this section are completely connected, so just take it, hinge the whole thing up like that, just to kind of get it out of the way. Go down to the legs, flip down the feet, separate them, then move down these panels. These arms kind of slot into the legs, so just move them out. And take the arms. They kind of go in on here, just move them out. And you got the arms and the legs all done. Head around to the back and take these swords and just flip them around so that you have a more movie accurate look to him. And do that on both swords so that it looks good. And now you've got his kind of starburst effect going on. Come around to the back, take this entire section, and just swing it down like that. Move it out a bit, take this hood area, move it up, bring that down, and then take this right here, this little area protruding, and make sure it tabs right in there, like that. And once you're done that, there you have Drift in his very cool looking robot mode. Honestly, I think that he's a very nice looking figure. He looks really good. And if you want to get a drift, get this guy, not the Age of Extinction drift, because this looks a bit more cleaner and has a bit more accuracy to it. The previous drift did transform into a completely different vehicle, though, with completely different colors. So if you like that one more, go for it. But I think that this one is much better. You can plug the swords in and get them into a nice pose, a nice samurai pose. And I think he just looks really good overall. For the head sculpt, you can see that there's a lot of detail, and just a lot of detail. As you can see, his goatee is just completely gold, whereas on the box it was painted black. So that's too bad. That kind of let me down, that it showed something on the box, but then it wasn't actually on the figure. So that's unfortunate, but it's alright. It's not really too big of a deal. And for articulation, you can see that at the hips, he does move his legs. They do kind of get stopped by the backpack over there. His knees do bend. He has a swivel at the thigh. His feet do pivot, but that's due to transformation. His arms can move in and out, up and down. His arms do bend at the elbow, 90 degrees, and his hands do move like that, just in and out. He has a lot of nice looking armor, which really captures the effect that he's a samurai, like over here and over here. And I think that that's a good way to portray him. He actually looks very nice. I think that the backpack on him is kind of too big, but I've kind of gotten used to them. They're pretty much on every single figure, so it's alright. The Autobot symbol is kind of hidden over there, but it does go through this glass. And I think it's too bad that he didn't have an Autobot symbol anywhere else on the front of his body, because I feel like that's more, that kind of shows which faction they are, because sometimes you can't see and you don't know, right? So I think that it would be better if he had it maybe somewhere on his chest or leg or arm, anywhere. But for his weapons, again, he does have the swords, which look very nice. They're the bendy, rubbery plastic. But if you don't want to use these swords, you can also take these mini swords and put them in his hands. Whoops. Now, these mini swords do have very small posts to connect into his hand, so sometimes they just don't slot in all too well, and they fall out really easily. So if you shake it, it might fall out. Or if you drop them, but I'm not really going to do that. But they're kind of like knives to him. They're not really like real swords. His big swords can't really store on his back. I mean, if you do kind of clear everything away, I guess you could put a sword like this, but you can't angle them, so you can't get him to actually look proper. Like you can see now, here's Drift. He looks really weird in that way. So these big swords don't really have a proper way of storing them, but otherwise, these mini swords, I think, are going to be the ones that are going to stay on his back most of the time anyway. I don't really think I display them like this with the mini swords in his hand, because these swords, the smaller swords, do actually play a part in his look, because he actually has them like this in the movie. So just putting those back in, you can see that it's better to have these bigger swords, because first of all, they're bigger and look better, but second of all, the smaller swords should be on his back, because that's more movie accurate, screen accurate. So for a size comparison, here he is next to the Age of Extinction crosshairs. So there he is, and you can see how they scale. And out of the box, I did really feel like Drift was small. I don't know if that's necessarily true though, because he's pretty much the same size as Crosshairs. Here he is with the Berserker, with his chicken legs, of course. And here he is with Deluxe Class Scorn from Age of Extinction. You can see how they scale. And I think that does it for scaling, and I think that does it for the figure too. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all soon.